Y'all is boxing. It's boxing. If you don't know that theme song, that's from Rocky. Adrian! Adrian! I love you! That's from Rocky. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's boxing time. Y'all see who on the shirt? GTD Promotions. It's only one card this weekend. It's the only card to talk about. That is Lamont Roach, Isak Pitbull Cruz for the 140-pound main card, Amazon Prime PBC pay-per-view. In the red corner. But no, man, what's going on, y'all? The Sport Fanatic, your boy Dill. I'm back with another video. Day 4 of 31 days straight of content. Before we get into the riffraff about Lamont Roach and everybody on the card, because we got, I think it's 3 fighters that I really want to talk about. I think the card itself is going to be good, but it's 3 fighters that I really want to talk about. But before we get into it, bro, it seemed like every time I decide to hop on a trend, not a trend, but every time I decide to, do something, it become a trend. Like, I worked in golf this summer. If you don't know now, I worked in golf this summer. And as soon as I got into the golf space, everybody was getting into golf. I didn't hear no word about golfing or none of that till I started getting into golf. And then, I'm not one to say Vlogmas or whatever it is, my idea. They do it. People do it every year. But it just seems like more and more people want to do it this year than ever before. But we're going to see how many people stick it out because we on day 4 and we ain't missed yet. This is going to be a late upload, but we still going to get it in. It's going to, it's just how the tide turned this time. So that's just how it goes. But I just want to get that off my chest. But Lamont Roach, Isak Pitbull Cruz, they have a card, and I'm gonna list off all the fights that's on this card. So you got start from top to bottom, Roach. You got Lara and Janibek, and we're gonna talk about that for sure. He had to get a sub. Steven, Cool Boy, Fulton, and Oshaki Foster. That's the fight for me. That's the fight that I want to see. Jesus Ramos and Shane Mosley Jr., I think that'd be a good scrap. And then the one and only. Hold on, let's give it up for him. Let me hold on. Wait. Let's give it up for Frank Martin. Let's give it up for Frank Martin, man. Welcome back, Frank Martin. After being put to sleep by Gervonta Tank Davis, June 15th, 2024, he is finally back. I mean, he had the promotion problems with Spence. That's what people say. I don't know if he's still under Spence Promotions or whatever. Derrick James, I know he doesn't train with Derrick James. A lot of people don't train with Derrick James no more. That's a conversation. Well, we can talk about it low-key because what's up, Derrick James? Why you ain't getting the fighters you supposed to be getting? I mean, when you was with AJ was kind of going downhill. You and Spence was, I think it was good till it wasn't. And then now, you say Spence ain't pay you. And then Spence promoting Frank. But that shit weird. He had a bunch of other fighters, and it just never seemed to, right now, it's a quiet period for Derrick James. He had the Charlo brothers. It was just a lot. It was just a lot going on with Derrick James. So whatever's going on with Derrick James and his stable, I hope you get it back right because Robert Garcia and Bo Mack, they got you beat, dog. They got you beat pretty good. But Derrick James, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's your fighting style, people, because it just seems like every fighter you get getting their ass beat. I mean, shit, if you ain't watched highlights of Derrick James' career, that's what you need to go do because he been put down a few times. Right? He been put down a few times. And it seems to be translating to his fighters when they fight a higher degree, a better caliber of fighter. But I'm excited to see Frank Martin. I think Frank Martin is a serious contender at the 140 pounds. I mean, him and Gary Antoine, him and Jose Valenzuela. I'm tired of watching Pitbull, speaking of Pitbull in this main card. But if he got to do Pitbull, Lamont now. Ryan Garcia's not at 40. Who else at 40? Richardson Hitchens at 40. Regis Pro. I guess so. I wouldn't mind Oscar Duarte. He gave Kenneth Sims a good bout. I wouldn't mind Kenneth Sims. I wouldn't mind does Lorenzo not Lorenzo, what's my boy? He fight with Coach Calvin and them. I can't think of his name. He fight with Coach Truck Simpson. I wouldn't mind if he did. I don't know if he was 40 or 47. 40 got some names. What Tank Davis say? We ready to go to 40, bro. We ready to go to 40. I'm going to see if I can put that clip. We ready to go to 40, bro. We ready to go to 40. Yeah, 40 got a lot of names up there. And then Bartholomew, whatever his name is, that should be good first day back comp for Frank Martin. So I'm excited to really see what that is going to be about. So, yeah, we back. So, back to Frank Martin. Excited to see him back. I think Bartholomew, whatever his name is, will be a good first fight back. The fight off the ring rust has been been a solid year and a half since we last seen Frank Martin. He's up 5 pounds at the 140-pound division. I'm just excited to see what it brings from him. Like I said, it's a bunch of good names, and just excited for him to get back in the mix. But, man, in taking his dive into to Frank Martin, the PBC stable is talented. They have a good stable. It's just they don't put on enough fights. This is what, the 7th, 8th card of the year for PBC, maybe 10. PBC has to do a better job of getting these fighters more and more busier. I mean, having one premier card every 6 weeks is not good. It's not good. The Zone is putting out all the biggest fights. And I get PBC, they don't have money makers no more. Spence is not there. The Charlo's not there. Tank is not there. Floyd is been gone. Pacquiao has only did one fight in the last 7 years. I mean, you probably got paid off Pacquiao, but still. The PBC stable is too talented for it to be not putting on premier fights as often as they should. So hopefully, Al Heyman and that team and Leonard Ellerby in that squad, they can get something going on at the PBC Premier Boxing Champions and Amazon Prime. But to move on from Frank Martin, really just want to see Frank Martin do good. There's really not much else to talk about with Frank Martin. Next is the fight we're going to sit down here and break down the majority of today's video. Stephen Cool Boy Fulton against O'Shaquie Foster. This is going to be a hell of a fight. I'm going to start off by saying this. If O'Shaquie can get on his jab, it's over with. I don't think Cool Boy Steph can really keep up with after that. I mean, that jab is quick. It's a flick motion more than a power jab. He has the length, the wingspan. I think he is very smart, and some is telling me he got the power to put Cool Boy down. Cool Boy's been down a few times. I want to say 3 now. He's been down 3 times. Anyway, knocked him out. And then his first fight back from anyway, he got put down. And then I low-key thought he lost that fight, but I guess Shock is his ticket back into the land of fame, I guess. But I don't think Stephen Fulton is that good. Hot take. I like Cool Boy. I do. But I don't think he's good enough to beat Shock. I think Shock is really good. And I'm glad to see that this fight is finally happening. It's been pushed back for so long. It was supposed to be on the Tank and Roach 2 undercard set for August. Then they whatever happened with Tank, that didn't go through. So then it was supposed to be on the Keith Thurman and the Fundora card. That fell through because Fundora hurt himself. Then it was supposed to be a card in November. Whoever card was in November. It didn't go down in November. Who fought in November on PBC? Was it Ortiz? No, Ortiz fought on the Zone. I don't know who card is supposed to be on in November. But then they just moved it back to December 6th, this Saturday. So I'm glad that this fight is finally starting to happen. But if Shock get on that jab, man, it's going to be a long night. I do think Stephen Boy Fulton is really good at making it a war, making it a dogfight. He's very crafty with his angles. I think he's a solid body puncher. I think that he has championship experience. He has high-level coaching, and Bozy Ennis out there, and Jerome Boots Ennis, and the whole Ennis family camp. I think he has, a hell of a motor. He's a hell of a fighter. I just think he has intangibles, but the skill set, I just don't know. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying, but from Cool Boy Steph, ever since anyway, I just don't see it. I don't see the quick combos. I don't see the speedy hands. Ever since with the 122, I just don't see it. And another thing to point out, he blows up during fights or in between fights. He blows up. He posted a video where he's like 167, 165. And cutting down to 130, like, even crazy enough, I think people don't even understand this. The Fundora and Thurman fight was literally like 3 weeks away before it was time. So he was probably down to 145, 3 weeks away, something like that. And he blew back up. Instead of staying at 145 for another 2 months, he blew back up to probably about 155, low 160s, mid 150s for 2 more months. I don't know. He just blows up in between fights, and I think that's why his speed is not the same. I definitely think that's why his speed is not the same, because even looking at him in these press conference workouts, you can see a lot of meat on his face. You can see a lot of meat, and he's moving up from 26. He ain't stay at 26 long. And there's a lot of contenders at this 30-pound division, this 130-pound division. So, I mean, if he wins, he could open up the door for a lot. No matter for who, but I think Oshaki has been put to the side because of the top-ranked situation and everything like that. But whoever wins this fight, I think it's a lot to go on. I mean, at the 130-pound division, you got Is that my boy Ray Vargas? Let me make sure. I think he fights at 30. No, not Ray. Yeah. Oh, no. He's inactive right now. But yeah, he's at featherweight. 130, 126. Shushu's at 126. Who's at 130? 130-pound boxers. Let's Google that. Who's at 130 pounds? My Wi-Fi don't want to work. Here we go. Oh, Navarrete. Okay. I forgot about Navarrete. I think he got a fight lined up. Kansei Sal, he's garbage. Kasase, Nunez, Sugar Nunez, he's pretty solid. No. Kasase is good. I think he the one that got cheated out of a fight. El Sugar Nunez is pretty solid. Oscar Valdez is a journeyman at this point. No. I'm wrong. Kasase is garbage. Because Joe Cordina, who was supposed to fight Shakur Stevenson and who was supposed to win, the ref let that late hit go. I don't know if y'all remember that. That was a Turkey Al-Sheikh card. I want to say on Fury and Usyk won. That's what I want to say. But still got Hector Garcia. Yeah, 130 kind of weak. I did say Ray Ford already. Yeah, 130 is kind of weak, man. Yeah. Outside of Joe Cordina, but he goes to 30, 35, 40 probably. I think a lot of technical boxers, can wipe the floor with Navarrete. He's a slugger, but, just straight left hands and right hands, I think you can get him in there. He don't seem to have any power at 30 anymore since having hand surgery. But, yeah, I mean, the only people that's really solid at 30 is Oshaki, Lamont, if he decides to go back down, Joe Cordina, Hector Garcia, Cool Boy Steph, and Ray Savage. I don't really see nobody else being good at the 130-pound division. So, but Ray Ford is the next fight for one of these guys. It has to be. It genuinely has to be. Ray Ford has been put on ice for too goddamn long. He's been put on ice for way too long. So they have to find a way. The zone matchroom has to find a way to get him a marquee fight like Lamont Roach, like Shock, and like even, I mean, a lot of people don't know Cordina, but they got to get him something. Ray Ford fighting these bums will just move up to 35 or move up to 35. But even then, 35 kind of dry now. 30, like, nobody's in the, I mean, unless he want to take on Dula. Unless he want to take on Dula, because he's not going to fight Shakur. Y'all know that by now. Unless he want to take on Dula, let me see what's at 35. Mortaya, Andy Cruz. Oh, I'm tripping. Frank Martin is at 140. This just clicked, y'all. I'm sorry. Frank Martin is at 140. Y'all know who at 140? The businessman, Keyshawn Davis, is at 140 pounds. That's what we need to see next. Keyshawn and Frank Martin. But yeah, I just, at the 130 pounds, 135 pounds, it is not a lot of good fights on the table anymore. And honestly, I hate it had to be like that. 130, 135 was jumping a few years ago. I mean, you had Loma, you had Camposis, you had Haney, Lopez, Tank, Shakur, who else at 35? Valenzuela was at 35. Frank Martin was at 35. Keyshawn Davis at 35. Dula Mason was at 35. Lamont could have went to 35. Like, you know, Shock, I'm pretty sure Shock can go to 35. Ray Ford can go to 35. Like, anybody from 30 to 40, like, if you start at 30 or 35, that maybe 140 ain't going down to 130, but 130 and 135, they the same thing, but they can all fight within each other. And we need to be seeing those fights, bro. We need to be seeing those fights, man. Chris Colbert was at 35 when he was at his peak. It's just, man, there's so many missed fights. It's so many missed fights from 30 to 40, man. Really 30, 35. But I'm just excited to see how this fight can be a tale of two fights. It can be a long 12-round boring fight, or it can really get to scrapping, and I think Shock gonna put down. I think Shock gonna wipe the floor. I ain't gonna lie. I think Shock gonna get him out of there 8 or 10. 8 or 10. I think Shock gonna put some hands on him, because this is Shock's coming out party. Like, this is O'Shaquie Foster's coming out party. This is the moment where he gets his respect. After that bullshit ass decision from Kansei Sao, that blew his opportunity to build up. But shout out to his team, the team at Top Rank, his personal team, for securing this fight and not losing this fight after all the postponing with Stephen Coolboy Fulton. This is a chance for O'Shaquie to get his name back into a light and not only become a contender at 30 if he wanted to fight Ray Ford, but because that's the only fight I think is at the table. But go to 35 and probably meet Lamont Roach or challenge, because he's probably a high mandatory for Abdullah Mason if you want to take it there, or the winner of Mortaya and Cruz. You know, Shock can do a lot because he has the WBC belt at 130 pounds. So he can do whatever he wanted to do. And whoever has the WBC belt at 135. 135 WBC. 135 WBC. Let's see. Oh, Shakur. Yeah. Shakur has the 35 belt for WBC. So he's the automatic, if you think about it, he's the automatic mandatory for Shakur at 35 because he's the 130-pound champ for WBC. So he's the automatic mandatory if he wanted to move up. He's a top 5 for the WBO because he's a champ at 130. So I don't know if y'all know the regulations of boxing, but if you're a champion at a small or weight class, let's say if you at 30, like Shock is, and you're a champion, in which he is, and you want to move up or move down, you're automatic top 5, if not mandatory, for that belt or any other of the 4 belts. So Shot got himself lined up with a bunch of fights. If he can go ahead and knock down Cool Boy Steph, because I don't think Cool Boy Steph goes up to 35 for long if he wins. I think 30-35 is where he caps out. I think at 40 they packing too much of a punch at 40. So, but this fight can either be a one-sided jab fest, or it's gonna be a good scrap. And either way, I got O'Shaquie Foster winning. I've been watching O'Shaquie for a long time. And O'Shaquie, man, I think you one of them ones, brother. I'm on your side this fight, man. All the disrespect I see you've been getting from the media, you know, when you went on $1 million worth of game and it was basically a 3v1, man, you handled your business. When you went on the PBC promotion and you was doing all the media for this, everybody was Cool Boy Steph, cool. Nobody came for shock. Nobody came for shot. But he said, y'all got the game messed off. Y'all don't know who I am. I'm O'Shaquie Foster. I'm the WBC champ at 130 pounds, and I should have been had a marquee fight if the judges ain't screwed me over an easy decision that I had for 12 rounds. O'Shaquie Foster, bro, I'm with you. I think you're talented. I think you are one of the few fighters that are able to knock off Shakir off his pedestal, along with Teofimo Lopez, but that's another conversation for another day. Shock. I got Shock, man. I'm riding with Shock. O'Shaquie Foster will be the winner of this fight against Cool Boy Steph, and that's no disrespect to Cool Boy Steph. So let's talk about this Lara and Janibek situation real fast, man. Janibek popped dirty earlier this week for whatever. And I made a little TikTok about it. Go follow me on TikTok, The Sport Fanatic. But let's talk about it real fast. Yes, Terrence Crawford, you know, is on the fence about doing certain things, whether he wants to campaign at 60 or go back to 54, whatever, or retire, whatever situation may be, or whether he wants to fight Canelo again for another $100 million, or the WBC wants to whatever the situation may be. Janibek messed up any other fight that he possibly could have had. He fought a fighter about a couple months ago, a year ago. They passed out on the scales. That's not his fault, but it was an opportunity missed. Even though you end up getting that fight again, the hype wasn't there anymore. You know, and you did what you were supposed to do. So you got Lara, who's the oldest male champion in boxing currently, right now. So with that, you had so much on the table. You could have took the move up to 68. Who could have you fought at 68? You could have fought Caleb Plant. I think that would have been a good scrap. Janibek and Caleb Plant at 68. Could have fought Charlo at 68. You could fight another Charlo at 60 or 68. Could have fought Spence at 60 or you know, whatever the situation. You had so many names to get at that 60 range, and you blew it because you popped dirty. And before y'all get on that, man, he was like, my diet, my supplements haven't changed, my vitamins and all that hasn't changed. Well, if you ain't never popped dirty before, why you pop dirty? Okay, all right, cool. So I just don't understand that, man. I just feel like Janibek, he blew popularity. I mean, he blew himself being a decent household name in the sport of boxing. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is with that. But I think I honestly don't know what to make of the replacement for Janibek. Let's look at it and let's see. His name is, let's make sure, Johan Gonzalez. Instead of a unification fight, this will be just a championship fight, a defense for Lara. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, I was excited for this 3 fights in a row. If anything, they should definitely move Shock and Cool Boy Steph to the co-main, because I don't want to watch that fight then go to Lara and Gonzalez. And it could be a good fight. It could be a good scrap. Somebody could get knocked out. But to have I would rather it be a good fight and then the hype of Shock and Fulton come in, regardless of how that fight turns out. Boom, then you got Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz. But you know, I don't really know how I feel about this fight now. I was excited to finally watch Janibek, but it is what it is. I just hate it had to go like that. And man, whatever these boxers are doing, popping dirty, whether they actually popping dirty or they not, man, you need to know everything that's going in your body, because when you pop dirty, bro, that notion, that stigmatism never goes away. It never leaves your identity as a fighter for the rest of your life. It goes on even when you're done with boxing, when you pass on from this earth. Popping dirty, being labeled as a unclean fighter is not what you want on your resume, unless you're just one of the pantheon greats like Canelo Alvarez or Mike Tyson or whoever else popped dirty that was a pantheon great. So, I mean, I seen Lamont Roach say earlier today, man, I believe he said if you pop dirty and it's confirmed, you should be damn near shadow banned for at least 2 to 3 years from boxing. That's just what I believe. But let's get into this last one, the main event, Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach. As you can see, I have on the Lamont Roach shirt. I'm going to include some of my tweets in here for Lamont Roach. I've been riding with Lamont Roach for a while. A lot of y'all don't even know he was boxing on Pro Box after PBC, The Zone, and Top Rank were kind of in a funk. He went to Pro Box and fought. He stayed active. He didn't wait on nobody, and he earned his shot against Tank, my man. And I ain't gonna lie, both of them were my guys. I grew up when I came into the sport of boxing, I found out about Gervonta and Lamont at the same time. So I just stuck with Tank because he just got bigger and bigger and bigger. But don't ever think I wasn't tweeting about Lamont Roach this entire time. Months before the fight, I was tweeting, y'all think Lamont Roach is not like that? Lamont Roach is nice. I'm gonna put him up so y'all can see and y'all can read it. But Lamont Roach, honestly, he handles this fight. It should be easy. Unless Pitbull just find a way to clobber him and get him loose and all off the wonkies and stuff. I truly believe that Lamont Roach can handle that fight pretty easily. So it should be, he could hurt him because he hurt Tank at 35. So he could get up to 40 and put belt to ass on Pitbull, and might be the first fighter ever to knock out Pitbull Cruz. I wouldn't mind that because I'm tired of seeing Pitbull have made a career off of Tank Davis. Let's just be real. Pitbull Cruz has made damn near $150, $200 million. $150, $200 million off Gervonta Tank Davis. Off that one fight, he went to Valenzuela. He went to Rowley. He went to, y'all, I'm getting a phone call. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. We getting a phone call live. All right, y'all. This should be the last take. I think we got no more interruptions on the table. But like I was saying, Lamont Roach, Pitbull Cruz, I hope. I'm not wishing down on any other fighter to get knocked out. It's not like I don't like Pitbull Cruz or nothing like that. But Lamont Roach, I'm not going to lie, man. Pitbull Cruz just be in too many fights. And he's not that good to be in this caliber of fight, but he just keep finding himself in these type of fights. And I think Lamont Roach can be the one to end it, because the Tank loss doesn't really count against Pitbull Cruz because Gervonta did knock him out. He gave Gervonta his toughest fight. People forget Gervonta broke his hand. Like, y'all not really tapped in. Y'all just see the fight for what it was and not everything that transpired in between or before and after. So that's why y'all think Pitbull Cruz is really like that. And he beat the smithereens out of Rolly. He had Rolly fucking Bambi legs over there. He got hit upside the head so many times. Rolly didn't know what he was doing. And then when Valenzuela put on a fucking boxing clinic against him, then y'all was like, oh, he might be overrated. Then he goes into a 10-rounder with one of the fights of the year with Figueroa or whatever his name was. Now, that was a really good fight. And shout out to bro for not going down because Pitbull Cruz was throwing fucking haymakers at him. So I just don't think the skill level of Isak is just good enough to diminish what Roach is really good at. I mean, he has power. He has a good left hook, has a good straight right, has a solid jab, does fantastic body work on a lot of his fighter. He takes chances. What is most important from a fighter in today's era, taking chances, not being afraid of other people's power. That's what I really like from Lamont Roach. You've seen in the Tank fight, regardless of, and like I said, Tank is my favorite fighter of all time. I'm going to forever stay faithful to him. But he wasn't afraid to take on the power of Gervonta Tank Davis. And another thing, he's very, very, very smart. As you've seen in his 130-pound champion fight on Pro Box, you've seen the body attack that he put onto his opponent. And then this is another takeaway I had from the Tank fight, because I was at the fight, for sure. I was at the fight, at Barclays, section 111. But I was at the Tank fight, and one thing from being in a fight and being on TV, you don't really get to hear the corners and all of those things. But one thing, when I got to watch the replay and some behind the scenes, man, they put me on something to Tank that I never really thought of. He really only uses his left hand for power, the left hook, the left uppercut. Body, to the body. The right is a decoy. The left is the monster. And he found a way to stay away from any of the powerful left hands, and that's how he was able to counteract on the offensive side and get some of those good shots that he got. And I think, and even as good as a fight that was, I honestly do think it was a draw no matter what. I could see Lamont winning. I definitely don't see Tank winning. It's either draw or Lamont won. But with the skill set that he showed on March 1st in Barclays Center against Gervonta Tank Davis, a pound-for-pound knockout champion, y'all don't think he going to dominate a simple brawler like Pitbull Cruz? Like, come on, talk to me nice. Talk to me right. I think it's just as easy as that. I think it's simply just as easy as that. Lamont Roach is one of the best fighters. He will soon be a pound-for-pound fighter. He's already a pound-for-pound fighter in 2 weight classes of 30, or 3 weight classes, 30, 35, and 40. So he's a multi-division pound-for-pound contender. Somebody go ahead and give him a belt. Go ahead and give him that opportunity to spank that ass one more time. Gary Antoine Russell, he coming for that ass. Best believe that's the next fight lined up on PBC. Gary Antoine Russell and Lamont Roach, that DMV area connection. Definitely think that's going to be in Jersey, New York, or some major city like that. So watch, I'm calling it here. I'm going to clip it when it happens. For sure that. But I think that's all we got, man. I think that's all we got. It wasn't much to dive deep into, man. Frank Martin is back. We finally get to see Shock and Stephen Fulton. Long as everybody makes weight tomorrow. By the time y'all really see this video, I probably do like a weigh-in live stream because I'm off tomorrow. But it's a lot. It's a lot to go on. It's a lot to do. So be prepared for this fight. I think this is one of the best PBC. Well, it should have been one of the best PBC cards until Janibek wanted to do drugs and shit. But I think it still be a solid PBC card. I'm excited to see what they got in store for next calendar year in 2026, man. So day 4 of 31 days is out the way. Cross it off the list. I see y'all day 5. And we're going to have a lot of videos for the weekend. We got for Friday, we got the SEC, ACC women's basketball thoughts and, and all of those. All the games should be over. Today is the last day. You also have, like I just said, the live stream, the weigh-in for Roach and Pitbull. Then you have Saturday, the actual fight card. And then Sunday, you have the live selection Sunday with college football. And you have the Rams playing on Sunday. So, and it's a lot. Then we're going to come back with the fight thoughts and all of that on Monday morning. First thing Monday morning. If not Sunday morning. It depends on how I feel or how the fight popping off. See if Sean Zattel and them boys can really tap in. But that's all I got for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for watching day 4. If you're not following all the socials, you need to. Deal Walton at Instagram, Deal Walton22 on Twitter, and the Sports Fanatic Show on TikTok. Y'all will see them on screen, of course. Y'all know how it go. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Ladies, gents, I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe, the whole 9. And I'm out of here. Day 4, I see y'all tomorrow for day 5.